Hi, I'm Jessica.
And I'm Kira.
And we are the Keepers of the Books, your online librarians. We are here with a weekly reads. This is our last one for June. There are a few more books that we didn't get to, and we'll just stick them in one of the early July ones because there's not enough for another weekly reads. So these are all of our books that we're going to review for you today. It's a lot of them, and it should be a lot of fun. We have everything from picture book through adult today, so we'll start with the picture books and the early readers. Our first one is The Good for Nothing Button by Sharice Miracle Harper. This is an Elephant and Piggie love reading book, and this one is all about a bird who finds a button. It's cute, it's funny, and your kids will love being silly along with this book. It has some great places where it encourages them to, and you as the reader, to try exclamation points and expression and different voices. Big, loud voices. So this is a great book for developing readers. This is a review book from Hyperion. Thank you, Hyperion.
The Great Pet Escape by Victoria Jameson. This follows the story of GW, and he is a hardened pet for a classroom, and he doesn't like being a classroom pet, so he sets out to find his friends Barry and Biter, but they've gone soft with being classroom pets. Will he still want to escape when they're done? The illustrations are cute, the story is adorable. I just love how the pictures help to tell the story. This is a fun graphic novel for early readers, so anywhere from kindergarten on up to about 3rd grade, or ages 5 to about 9. Goldieblox Rules the School by Stacy McNulty. Goldieblox is just like Goldilocks, but she is a self-proclaimed gearhead. She loves to create everything under the sun. And she just happens to accidentally blow up the school one day, so blows their roof right off, and has to rebuild the school. To do so, though, is a bit of a challenge because she is also going to a school where the headmaster doesn't like her building stuff. Instead of being like her old school where she could do whatever she wanted, this new school is very kind of uptight and doesn't like people to express themselves through technology. Will she find a way to fit in and rebuild her old school? You'll have to find out. This is great for early chapter book readers, so you're going to look at grades 2 through 4, or ages 6 through about 9. This book is a lot of fun for early chapter book readers. I like these pictures because they're very detailed. You have a lot of fun things going on in the picture that you have to really look at to see them all. The pictures very much complement the text. This is a review book from Random House. The Pet Sitting Peril by Willow Davis Roberts. This one is about Nick. He is saving some money and he has just gotten his first job. His family decides they need to save some money to go to Disneyland. So that means he's going to have to save even more money, and he's going to need it pretty fast if they're going to be able to go on this vacation by the end of the summer. So he decides to take a job babysitting the pets of Hillsdale Apartments. He's got some evil cats to tame or give medicine to, and some puppy dogs to walk that aren't so little. And there is a lot of mysterious happenings going on at the Hillsdale apartment. Light bulbs being shattered, street lights being blown out, a can of gasoline hiding in the hall closet. Nick thinks more is going on, but what could it possibly be? And will anybody believe him? This is a fun book. It's a middle reader, ages 8 through 12 or 13, or grades 2 through 7. And this is a review book from Simon & Schuster. Thank you, Simon & Schuster, and Kiss the Book, kissthebook.blogspot.com for this review book. Momotaro, Xander, and the Lost Island of Monsters by Margaret Dillaway. This is the story of Xander, and he is half Japanese, half Irish, and he's grown up on tales of these monsters known as yokai. Some are nice monsters, some are not very nice monsters. Some would rather just flood the whole planet and take over. Well, it turns out that the Peach Man in his parents' story really is one of his ancestors, and he's descended from the Great Peach Man. And then his father gets kidnapped, and he has to go save him from the island of monsters. Unfortunately, however, he doesn't completely know the tale of Momotaro. Not all the details have been told to him by his family, so he has to, along the way, figure out what really is his destiny. Will he succeed? This is a fun fantasy mythological adventure filled with all sorts of action and monsters. Great for any fan of The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan, or even someone who's just looking for a great adventure to pass the time. This is for grades 5 to 9 or ages 10 to about 14. This is a review copy from Disney Hyperion. I Am Drums by Mike Grosso. This book is about Sam, and she has drum beats in her head all the time, and she really just wants to play the drums. She has joined her middle school percussion section. Well, at one point, Sam is sent to her band teacher's office because she's in trouble again, and she overhears something
something that she shouldn't. The school music program is being cut. It will not be around next year. And she secretly just wants drum lessons. She wants to be an amazing drummer, but everybody seems to discount her. She decides that she needs money. So she secretly sets out to have a lawn mowing business. And in that business, she uses her money to save for a drum set and some secret drum lessons. But her parents aren't so fond of this idea necessarily, and they're fighting all the time anyway, so she doesn't really want to approach them about it either. This is a very realistic book about a middle school kid who has discovered one of their passions in life. And it's really fun to watch her develop as both a character and for her talent to develop to see what she can really do. It's a fun, laugh out loud book about a very determined middle school student, which a lot of them are. This is just a great one. I would recommend this for ages 10 through 15 or grades 5 through 8. And this is a review book from Clarion Books and Kiss the Book. So thank you, Clarion and Kiss the Book.
Momotaro, Xander, and the Dream Thief by Margaret Dillaway. This is the sequel to The Lost Island of Monsters. In this book, Xander has discovered his powers. Since his last adventure, he keeps having nightmares, and he just wants them to go away. So his grandma gives him a Baku charm, tells him to use it wisely, because Bakus can get very impatient. Well, of course, he doesn't listen because he's a teenager, and suddenly, all his family members have this weird, kind of lethargic state that they're in, and he has to figure out how to find the Baku and save the day. I really like how the author grows upon the character Xander and makes him come to life. Now, even the superhero he is, she makes him a flawed teenager, which makes it, for me, at least more realistic, and I'm sure it will for others. Very engaging read. Like the other one, I would recommend this for grades 5 through 9 or ages 10 to 15. This is a review copy from Disney Hyperion.
The Best Kind of Magic by Crystal Cestari. This book is about Amber Sand, and her mother is a Wiccan witch, and she owns a magic shop in Chicago on the pier called Windy City Magic. But the Wicca gene seems to have skipped Amber. She is simply a matchmaker, which is like barely above birthday party magic kind of stuff. So she can see who your future soulmate is. So one day the mayor's son, Charlie Blitzman, the most popular boy in school, comes to her asking for help. His dad's girlfriend has disappeared, and he's a little bit concerned because he doesn't quite trust her in the first place. Something's kind of off there, and he wants Amber to help see his dad's true match, plus find her either way. So Amber finds herself in a bit of a dilemma when she starts to fall for him. And she can see who his future match is, but it's not her. And that's really hard because she is just really crushing on him and enjoying being with him, and they're having fun together at the same time. Her best friend, Amani, is someone who can see the future, but she's trying to suppress her ability. And there is much more going on. There's a reason that the dad's girlfriend has gone missing, and it is not what anybody would have imagined. This is fun. I really enjoyed this book. It was really just kind of a nice blend of a little bit of mild romance for the age group and some magical adventures, grades 7 and up or ages 12 and up, and it could easily be fun for a lot of people in high school too, because she is in high school and at that age group, but it's a fairly innocent book. And this is a review copy from Hyperion. Thank you, Hyperion.
Agents of the Glass, a new recruit by Michael D. Beale. Andy is really quite the do-gooder, and he likes to do everything by the book. So when he winds up with money from a bank robbery, it just happens to fall into his hands. Nobody really knows how. He returns it to the police and ends up getting recruited as super secret agent for an organization that is trying to bring down another organization called NTRP. And if you pronounce the word out, NTRP, that induces heat and chaos. So yeah, entropy. As Andy goes to this new school to bring down entropy, he meets another girl named Winter who seems to be a little on the mysterious side and he can't quite trust her. Will he bring down entropy? And is Winter somehow related to entropy? You'll have to find out. Yes, I'm well aware of the ironicness of winter and heat going together. And it is also a very humorous book with fun-filled adventure that was really hard to put down. This would definitely be science fiction. If you like super secret agent books or even just a fun science fiction adventure, you'll love this book. And yes, it has the cool gadgets to go with it, so for James Bond fans, it has that element too. I would recommend this for grades 4 through 7 or ages 9 to 12. This is a review copy from Gnop and Kiss the Book. Thanks for such a great, funny read. The Suffering Tree by Elle Cosimeno. We did review another one of Elle's books several months ago, and it was Holding Smoke. Holding Smoke is a book for older readers, and this one's probably going to be about the same age group. There's a mild amount of language in it, and I would say this one is going to be for grades 9 and up or
for ages 15 and up. So this book is about Tori. When her dad dies, her family is left in quite a state of financial despair. They're in DC, and then somebody leaves them a house in Maryland. They have to move anyways because they're being evicted, so they move to the house in Maryland. And it's in kind of a remote area, and it used to be old slaving, indentured servant type land. The land has a history to it. This book will flip back and forth between the current time period and an older time period. There's a boy, Nathaniel Bishop, and he is buried under this tree for some reason, and they're not quite sure why. Tori has a pattern of self-harm and cutting, and one day she goes out and she cuts herself, and the blood drips down, and Nathaniel comes out of the ground. He was an indentured servant slave type back hundreds of years ago during the witch trials time period. He was best friends with a girl who was a witch. This story follows both timelines and tries to figure out why Nathaniel has come. The only commonality they seem to know of is that the Slaughter family is there, and they're causing problems in the past and the present. It's leading to a very interesting storyline, a magical realism type of book, and that's a very popular genre. I really enjoyed it, and I could not put this book down. It was fantastic. So if you like magical realism, this is a great one to try. And it has historical fiction and current fiction, which is a great mix for this type of book. It was wonderful. And this is a review book from Hyperion. Thank you, Hyperion, for this great book. Definitely a 5-star read.
Saving Hamlet by Molly Booth. This is the story of Emma. Emma is the stage manager for her school's production of Saving Hamlet, mostly so she can be next to the guy she has a crush on. But one day after rehearsal, she falls through a trap door into the past, into the 1600s with Shakespeare and the original telling of Hamlet. Up to now, she hasn't really given a crap about Hamlet, the play, and so it's kind of fun for her to go back in time and see the real Hamlet being performed for the very first time. Something happens in the past that starts affecting the present, and now she has to rescue Hamlet, the play, of course, so that it can not only be performed in the past, but also in the present. Will she succeed? A fun time travel adventure for sure. I love the characters, and I like that it has even a little bit of romance, and it's really easy to follow the two different timelines, mostly because each timeline is followed by a drop through a door. This is a great book for grades 7 through 10 or ages 12 to 15. This is a review copy from Hyperion.
Shadowman by Alan Drew. This is a review book from Random House. This book is definitely an adult book. It's going to be for people who like authors like Lee Child, Douglas Preston, James Patterson's murder mystery type books, and maybe some Robert Ludlum. David Baldacci is probably another one if you like those kind of books. This is the kind of book for you. This is a book about Ben. It is set in the 1980s in California around Newport Beach. So Ben's a detective. He's gone through a divorce. He's having trouble with his daughter. She's hit the teenage years, and their relationship just isn't quite as solid as it used to be, and she's making some choices that he's not 100% sure he approves of. And their sleepy little town has a serial killer on the loose. So parts of this book will have those glimpses inside the killer's head in short interluding chapters. Some of the murders and the deaths that are found require Ben to go back into his own teenage years and his own past and to deal with his own ghosts. It contains language and some adult content, not just violence, but sexual content as well. And it's pretty borderline, like nothing actually fully happens. The book is a little bit dark, so you do need to make sure that this kind of content appeals to you. If this is your kind of read, you know who you are because you love these kind of books and you devour them, and you'll like this one, especially since it's glimpsing back into the 80s and things were just a little bit different then than they are now, a little more relaxed and laid back. And the things that Ben's dealing with from his teenage years are probably in the late 60s, early 70s. So things were even different back then. It deals with some issues in society, and it at times is disturbing because that's what these kind of books are. And again, this is for adults and it is from Random House. It was a good read and I am interested to see what happens to this detective in the future. Alright, so those were our weekly reads. There were a lot of them. We hope you enjoyed this. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so that you find out about future videos and more book reviews. And until next time, happy reading. Bye!